Have you ever thought of being a business advisor? So what kinds of people become advisors for Prime?
I suppose if I look across the team and say across the whole team, what are the one or two things that they have in common? They all come from a background of structure and process. And the majority of our clients are the opposite.
That's an interesting observation.
You've got to obviously have business acumen and have a really good understanding of what makes a business tick. And we aren't going to take anybody aboard that doesn't have that level of business acumen. But on top of that...
It's a base to start from, isn't it?
Yeah, but on top of business acumen, you have to have a passion for helping. We are coaches.
Yeah, so can they come from any discipline?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I think that's, we have a huge amount of detail to go through when we talk to somebody about it to make sure that they are a good fit for the business, And like Rob said, there's a huge amount of it is about understanding, not just having that business now and wanting to help people, but having an understanding of what effect you have on that client.
Yeah.
Most people that join us, could they do this themselves? Yes, they could, but they choose not to. And the reason they choose not to is that the power of a group is more powerful than the individual, and you can tap into a ready-made process that we know that works, and you can share the skill set of a whole lot of other people as well.
Yeah.
From our point of view, if you're going to get into this industry, it's a no-brainer to join a group. Otherwise, it's a lonely space on your own, and it costs you a lot of money, time and energy to get to where you can get very quickly by joining a group like Prime.
Yeah, because most people would, if they were on their own, they'd develop their own IP.
Yes, yeah, and it takes a huge amount of time,
So it sounds like this would actually shortcut the process.
I think too, there's that thing about if you're in front of a client and the client asks you a question and you don't know the answer, then it's leave it with me. I'll have a bit of a think about it, and I'll come back next week with an answer or with some thoughts. Because remember that you've got 40 odd people in the background, so you've got a team of 40 in the shadows who are ready and willing to help you answer any of the questions where you don't have the skill set personally. So hence the reason why you have this strength in numbers thing. The 1 and 1 makes 3. And also there's a huge amount of camaraderie amongst the team. So the team's like this all the time, through Teams and the intranet system and everything. Always talking, always catching up for a coffee or a beer and having a natter about what they're doing and any struggles they might be having with clients.
Yeah, I think that would be a really interesting group of people. You put those 40 people in a room, it would be really interesting.
So we've got a lot of very clever people, but also we've experimented on how we interface with SME business owners and refined the way that we do it over a long period of time. And if you are starting from scratch on your own, you have to go and make those mistakes and learn what works and what doesn't. And joining a group like ours we can tell you very quickly what we know works and why it works and how it works, rather than having to learn it yourself.
Yeah, so you get rid of the trial and error.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what can people expect when they join Prime?
I think initially a good training base, so a good knowledge base of interaction with us from a training perspective, but also a huge amount of structure to it. So it isn't just about going and talking to somebody, it's about going through a process and talking to somebody and getting all that emotion out about them and their business. It's what drives them, what's the passion that drives them in that business, and what are the pain points within that we can help remove for them.